In this chapter, Yechezkel continues with his depiction of the Beis Hamikdash, and he describes how the angel brings him to the eastern gate, and how the glory of Hashem descends upon the Beis Hamikdash, and how he had already seen the glory of Hashem in other prophecies. And he talks about this, that the Beis Hamikdash is going to be holy and filled with the glory of Hashem, and we're not going to be defiled anymore with idol worship. And he talks about this, that Hashem is giving over how the Beis Hamikdash is going to look and all its measurements, and how he's going to give it over to the Jewish people. After this, it describes the Mizbeach, the altar, and gives the measurements and goes into a lot of detail how it's going to look. And then it talks about the Chanukas Mizbeach, the inauguration of the altar, and similar to the inauguration of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, there were also sacrifices that were brought, although the sacrifices were a little bit different. The first day, which was Chav Gimel Adar, they brought an ox for the sin offering, and the days after that, till Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they brought goat offering for sin offering, and then they brought an ox and a ram for a burnt offering. And also another difference between the inauguration of the Mishkan. The inauguration of the Mishkan was a special day, special karbanis. Here, the 8th day was just the day when they started bringing their normal sacrifices. By Yechezkel al-Ashar, he brought me to the gate, the gate of the Harabayas, which goes towards east. The glory of the God of Israel was coming from the east to be in the Beis Hamikdash, just like it was there before. The voice was like a lot of water, and the earth got full of light from the glory, from the Ziva Shechina. So Chamari Amaren was like the vision of Sharisi Bamaren, like I saw in the vision, the prophecy of Sharisi Bavoy Shachas Esair, when I saw that they were coming to destroy the city. This is the prophecy earlier when there were 6 people coming to destroy Jerusalem. Umaris, and it was like the vision, Kamara Sharisi Nakvar, like what I saw, and Hakvar, which was described in the first chapter of Yechezkel. When I saw the glory of Hashem, I fell upon my face. And then I see the glory of Hashem coming into the house, to the Beis Hamikdash, through the gate, which is facing east of the Harabayis. At the same ruach, and a wind picked me up. And brought me into the inner courtyard, to the Azara. And the glory of Hashem, the Shechina, was filling the house. And I could hear that it was speaking to me from the house, from the Hechel, the sanctuary. And the person, the Malach, the angel, was standing with me. He tells me, Ben Adam, as Makin Kisi, this is the place of my chair. The Beis Hamikdash is under my throne. It's called my throne. As Makoyim Kapis Ragli, and it's the place of my footstool. Asher Eshkel Shom B'Sechel Yisrael. Olam is the place where I'm going to dwell amongst the people of Israel forever. Beis Yisrael, and from now on, the house of Israel is not going to contaminate Shem Kachi, my holy name, them and their kings, Bisnusam, with their promiscuous idolatry, and with the corpses of their kings, which were sometimes put close to that area. and they would build a high place at the place of the corpse, at the place of the body, to worship their kings. And that will no longer be. The sipom, sipi, when they put their thresholds against my threshold, the mezuzosum, etzom mezuzasi, and they put their doorpost against my doorpost, akir beni neim, and only the wall of the Beis Hamikdash is what separates the Beis Hamikdash and their things. Timush and Kachi, and they defile my holy name, also with their abominations which they do. And then I consume them in my anger. And now, when the Beis Hamikdash is built, Ata Yerachku Senusum, now their promiscuous adultery is going to be distanced. Many, and the corpses of their kings are going to be distanced from me. I'm going to dwell amongst them forever. Now talks about teaching them the way that this looks. Ata ben Adam, now Hagi, the space of soul, tell the house of Israel, Sabayis, the house, and they may be ashamed of their sins, and may they not do them anymore. Mud to do is toughness, and they should calculate the temple's design. And now the nichlamu mikol asher asu, and now if they are ashamed for everything that they have done, to the Sabayis, then tell them about the design of the house, tell them about the amount of cells and chambers, and the going ins and outs, meaning the gates, the chol and all the different the images of how exactly each room would look. It's called Kaisov and all its laws, and all its images, which refers to the way the kruvim and the palm trees were on the walls, described it in detail before B'chol Tereso, and exactly all the Torahs, meaning to say exactly how when each section of the Beis Hamikdash finishes, and we say this, we should let them know, you should write it down, but before their eyes, like this, they should be able to read it. And they should guard all its images. It's called place of all its statutes. But also and they should do it like this. When the Beis Hamikdash is built, they should know how to do it. This is all the learning about the house, exactly how the Beis Hamikdash should look, how it should be on the mountain, and the Habayis, its entire boundary all around is the Holy of Holies, which means it has an increased level of sanctity. You can do certain sacrifices, you need specific Kodesh Kodashim, and only Jerusalem is of a less sanctity, but the entire area is all going to be Kodesh Kodashim in His Torah. This is the teaching regarding the Beis Hamikdash. Okay, before we're going to go through the few verses that talk about the measurements of the Mizbeach, just want to give a little introduction. Basically, there are 3 different squares, and the one that's the most wide, the outer one, the one most at the bottom, as you can see in the picture on the bottom, was 32 by 32 amis, and it went up 2 amis, which is called the Yesod. Then it went in, an am on each side, and the next square was 30 amis. Then it went in again, and this is called the Yesod. And the third square was 28 amis, and this was the most narrow one. And this went up either 3 or 4 amis, depending on which opinion. That's machlokes. I wrote down 4 amis on that part. I'm going according to the opinion of Rashi, but the Rambam and the Malbim, they argue that. So altogether, the Mizbeach is either 10 amis with the kronis, or 11 amis, depending if you go according to which opinion. Okay, now it starts talking about the measurement of the Mizbeach, and he says like this: this is the measurement of Mizbeach, and we're going to measure them with amis. And when we say amis, we mean big amis, which mean they have 6 handbreadths, 6 tvachim. Amma v'tefach. Each amma is amma, which is a regular amma of 5 tvachim, plus another tefach, which equals altogether 10 tvachim. But we're going to say that there's certain parts of the Mizbeach which we measure with lesser amis. This is where it's going to go on to say now. The foundation, which is 2 amis, it's measured with the small amma of 5 tvachim. This is the ledge's width, which is on top of the red line, which is called the chut sikra. So that amma which goes in that ledge, that was measured with the smaller amma. That's also an exception when we use the small amma. And ugvula al svasa, the border pieces on its ledge, saviv around zeres echad, was a half amma if you measure from the middle. So this refers to the horns. The horns were a half amma if you measure from, let's say, halfway in the horn, which means that if you go halfway, each side is a half amma. Altogether, it was an amma by amma, but it was measured in the smaller amma. And so too, the top of the altar, which refers to the inner Mizbeach, the one that's in the sanctuary, in the Heichal, which was made of gold, also, which it was an amma by an amma and a height of 2 amis. That was also measured with the smaller amma. Now it's very useful to look at the pictures when I describe it. And from the foundation of the ground, al dazara atachtena, until the lower shelf. So that's the first everything you could see. I wrote azara gdela, azara ktana. So that base was shtein amis, was 2 amis, v'reicha b'am achas, and the width of the side going in and starting that cube was also 1 amma, not also, was 1 amma. Ume'azara haktana ad azara gdela, and from the small azara till the big azara was 4 amis. That just went up another 4 amis until there was even a smaller cube. Arba amis, 4 amis. V'leichav amma, and it went up another amma, which was this amma is called, this ledge is called the Seivu. V'hareu arba amis, and this upper portion of the Mizbeach, which you can see it marked, is 4 amis, and I marked it as 4 amis, just the harel, and there's an additional 1 tefach of the horns, the kronis. That's disputed. That's the opinion of Rashi. The Malbim and the Rambam say that the harel itself was 3 amis, and it's only 4 amis with the kronis. And from the ariel, the actual place of the maracha, where they would burn, where there'd be a fire, and up there, hakronis arba, there were 4 horns sticking out. And the reason why it was called ariel is because the fire was shaped like a lion. The Hariel, and the place of the Ariel was 12 long, and 12 wide. Ravua al Arba'as revolve. It was square for its 4 quadrants, which means that there were 4 squares of 12 quadrants, and if you put this together, it's 24 by 24. Vazara. Now, the area of the entire top of the Mizbeach, including the horns, Abra Erech is 14 long, the Abra Erecha by 14 wide, Al Arba Sirva'a, to its 4 quadrants, which means this 14 quadrants, and altogether it's 28. Bagvul, Saviv, Isa, Chatzi Amma. The boundary surrounding it is a half a cubit, which really means a half a cubit from, if you go from half of each horn, which means that each horn took up entire Amma. Yechezkel and the foundation also Amma Saviv protruded another Amma around, and it's going up. The ramp was turning towards east, which means that the ramp was really in the south. But since you go up on the Mizbeach and you turn right, so it comes out that this caused that you should turn right when you went up the Mizbeach. Vayemer Elai ben Adam, he told me, Koi Amar Hashem Elokim, this is what God said, Ele chukas ha-Mizbeach v'yoyim hi'asaisai. These are the laws of the Mizbeach on the day that it's made, after you finish building it. To bring upon it burnt offerings, and to sprinkle upon it the blood of the Kabbanis. And you give to the Kohanim, which come from the tribe of Levi, they come from the seed of Tzaddik, who was a Kohen who served in the first Beis Hamikdash. Akrevim Elayu, come to me, Num Hashem Elokim, this is the word of Hashem, Vasharseni, to serve me, Par ben Boker, an ox, Achatos, for a sin offering. This was all to inaugurate the Mizbeach. This is similar, as we said in the introduction, to the inauguration that happened in the tabernacle. You take from its blood, and you put on the 4 horns. So that's put on the 4 edges of the Mizbeach's top, the alagvul saviv, and then you would put it on the base around the Mizbeach. I guess similar to what they pour the shirayim to the side. And you purify the Mizbeach v'chiparto, and that cleans it from how it was chol, and this brings it to make it holy, brings kedusha to it, and now you can start atoning. And they would take the ox of the sin offering, and they would burn it in a designated place in the Beis Hamikdash, and not in the Beis Hamikdash, but chutz the Mikdash, outside of the Beis Hamikdash. And this is similar to the chatas that Moshe did on the 8th day, that he burnt it outside the Beis Hamikdash, since this was a type of offering which you don't eat. So this was the first day. We had this ox, this chatos, special carbon. On the Yemesheni, and the second day, Takrif Sirizim Tam Lachatas, they would bring a Sirizim Tam Lachatas, a pure, unblemished goat for sin offering. Chitu is a Mizbeach, and this would purify the Mizbeach, just like they purified with ox. When they finished purifying the Mizbeach with this goat, then they would bring unblemished ox, and a ram which was unblemished. Hashem, and you should bring the ram and the ox before Hashem, and the kohenim put salt upon it, and they would bring it as a burnt offering to Hashem. And Shivas Yomim, and just like we did this on the second day, 7 days we did this, they would do this goat sin offering, upar ben bakar, and an ox, and a ram from the sheep, tamim yasu. They would do a unblemished animal. Shivas yomim mechapas mizbeach, and in 7 days they would clean the mizbeach, so to say, to bring it into kedusha, to bring it to holiness. Tirai say they purified. Umilu yada. This would consecrate the mizbeach. Now, Bechalos Yom, they finished the days, and the 8th day, from now. Then on, that's what Kohenim on Mizbeach. The Kohenim will do on the Mizbeach, and so they Seichem, Eshalmechem, their burnt offerings, and their peace offerings, their Tzisiaschem, and Karbonis will be brought to bring me pleasure. I'm going to accept you with favor as a result. Num Hashem Elokim, these are the words of Hashem. And as the commentaries point out, that it's going to start on Chav Gimel Adar, and the 8th day is going to be Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which is the day when they're going to start bringing Karbonis as usual.